Hello viewers, my name is Tom Pauken II. I write for Quora. Today I'd like to address a very important question about China. For example, why do so many people complain and criticize about the country, although many of them have never visited China in their lives? Many of them may not even visit or have plans to do so in the future, yet they will continue to complain about the country. Why would that be the case? Well, when I was younger, I'll tell you my story. I was the same as most people from America. I'm a U.S. citizen. I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. And when I was growing up as a kid, I had grown up during the Cold War age when, at that time, the USSR was Russia, and it was a very communist country. And China was considered to be a strong ally of the USSR. So communism is a major reason why many people are very concerned about China. They hear about communism and they assume that the country is 100% full-fledged Marxist, when in reality it's really not the case. China is actually a country that is very open. And the late Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping's Reform and Opening Up Law was a major step forward for the country, and it was introduced over four decades ago. What he did was, with the opening up and reforms, is he created a more pro-free market economy while maintaining a lot of the social structures so that there was strong social stability. So this is where many people have misunderstandings about China. They see the Chinese economy very strong. You look at many Chinese cities, there's many buildings, it looks very modern, many people have become very wealthy. But at the same time, their government continues to be led by the Communist Party of China, and at the same time, they have concerns that because China does not have the same political freedoms as many democracies do, then this leads to a lot of misunderstandings and concerns. So what happens is when they read the media stories, they hear the things about China, they go, oh my gosh, China is still a really bad country, even though they become very wealthy. So then they become very reluctant to go to the country and visit. I have many friends in America, and many of my friends will tell me straight to my face that they are very scared to go to China. They are worried about China. They worry, oh my gosh, there's no political freedoms. If I say what I want to think, then I might go to jail or I might go to prison. So what goes on in their minds is a lot of fear and ignorance. They really don't understand what the real China is. The real China is, as I mentioned earlier, is a very open country, but at the same time, the government has major concerns about social stability. But at the same time, with the social stability, you see a lot of benefits. For example, I live in Beijing. I can go outside at midnight, even 1 a.m. in the morning, on any streets in Beijing, and I don't have to worry about crimes. Because everywhere I go, you're going to see police officers, or at the same time, there are many videos, surveillance videos, that are watching out on the streets, okay? So when people see this, that is actually freedom, because what's going on is if you don't have to worry about crime or people harming you, then that itself is also a freedom. And this is something the West really doesn't understand, because sometimes they think freedom, even if it's bad, is still better than everything else. What they don't understand is that in the West, the high crime, the big problems you see with the violence there, is actually there's no freedom. Because what happens if you're afraid to go outside at night? There's no freedom in that. Whereas in China, you don't have to worry about it. So what people need to do is have a better understanding of the country, and they need to realize that China really focuses on social stability, and because of that, you're going to see lower crime rates, you're going to see less problems in society, you're going to see strong family values. And at the same time, people can still become rich. They're going to have good jobs. You're going to go to these amazing cities, and you're going to see many wonderful cities. So what I also recommend is do not be afraid to come to China if you have an opportunity. Come and see for yourself. No country is perfect, but at the same time, if you come and see it, You will then realize that perhaps China is not as bad as what the West is claiming it to be. Give China a chance. Come and see. And you may actually enjoy what you're coming for, and you may discover that China is a much better country than you ever realized.